Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
KCAA.
No matter what it is in life that you want, you gotta go out there and get it. Just don't let it come to a sleeper but a dream. Never give up on your goals, stay focused on you. Focus your view, succeed, cause I'm hoping you do. Keep climbing up the ladder, cause the key to success. Go hard and go home, never settle for less.
What's up, team? This is Robert Porter and Ifeanyi Locker with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show on KCA NBC 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, where we will talk politics, culture, and history. Ifeanyi has an event to do today. He's doing a photography club, I believe, and he'll be back next week. But this week we have Eddie and Amethyst. How you doing, team? Eddie Funkster.
Hello, hello.
Been on this show for a long time.
She's almost 10 years now, like 10 years.
And Amethyst has been coming on the show for a long time. And I do believe maybe you came on the show before Eddie, or what?
No, he came on first.
He came on first, and he came on after.
I came on when you guys were at the Carousel Mall.
Carousel Mall. Did you make it to the Carousel Mall?
One
Yes,
time,
yeah.
I did
For
one
Cannabis
time.
Corner. Yeah, the Women in Cannabis show.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a good time.
Oh, that one lady is still actually was doing
Crystal.
trimming and stuff, right? Yeah.
She's still doing it out here all around Southern California.
That is amazing. It's amazing how time flies too. It's really, truly
Especially
cool.
when you're high.
Yeah, the old the cold Cannabis Corner days. Yeah.
Especially.
Totally.
Elmo and oh man, those were fun. We had a lot of free goodies that came in those stores.
Yeah, that was a good time.
I'd like to mention our sponsors. Today is Golden Pizza and Wings right over there on Olive and Waterman Avenue. Thank you, Ted, so much for your incredible pizza. $6.95 plus tax. All day, every day at Golden Pizza and Wings. Now, they have another one over there at Golden and Highland. So if you want to go to either or, there's one in Colton, one in Fontana. So if you're hungry for some pizza and you want something kind of cheaper for the kids, you know I'm about the kids. I am all about the kids. And I always think about things that how we can make life better for them. And there's a reason that I do this. And it's not just toys and musical instruments and representations, or it's not just going out and exercising and everything. Everything we do for the kids creates possible nostalgia for them to treat our area better when they're adults.
Totally.
And we're gone.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I would rather have that effect after I'm dead too, you know? So,
Amen.
Yeah, so if you can help kids create good feelings towards our area, the high desert and everything, and San Bernardino and San Bernardino County, then they'll have that later on. Because
They sure will.
We have to build that. We have to work on that. We haven't done a good job of portraying our areas as beautiful as they are. Right? We have bad elements, but we have incredible elements too.
Definitely.
So,
Sure
Yes.
do. She's just getting off the freeway right now. It was nice just driving off 5th Street. They've changed a lot just getting off the freeway. It almost has...
the 5th Street corridor.
Yeah,
now.
it feels like I'm kind of like in Lake Forest or an Irvine kind of area. You know, it's got a little bit of a vibe to it.
Those weren't, big box store, like,
Yeah.
But I wish it was homegrown and mom and pops. But
Yeah,
Me
small
too.
businesses, but it's nice to see that San Bernardino is, coming to look better, look nicer, look cleaner, because it's been a bit of a
been harsh.
struggle for them for a while, and that area especially looks really nice compared to what it did.
And the
look
problem
like.
for me is like, I'm not born and raised here, but I got here in it was like 89. I got here in 1990, and still, even though it looks nice on that block, I know what neighborhood's behind it, so it still looks like the Idiocracy movie where the Costco's in the middle of the slum area. So it's I don't care how much they pretty up 5th Street. I know it's on the other side of that. I know it's on.
it still got some needs a little help.
I know it's on 6th Street.
But it's nice to see the buildings
It's very
full,
nice, though.
and it's nice to see that there's people walking around, and it didn't seem, it didn't seem as drab as it has in the past, which was really cool.
Yeah, it was really good.
They've been working on that a long time,
That's good.
and it's called the 5th Street corridor. So,
That's cool. That's good.
And like if you go down, you turn right there at the at the In and Out. That's all the dispensaries, right? So you got Ash
Nice.
there, and Stizzy down the way,
Nice.
right?
Who's gonna open a cafe right there?
Yeah.
He's got to open a cafe now.
And
He's
in
got
the future, if we can get the
Cannabis
city to actually open
lounge.
those kind of laws and stuff.
Yeah. Tom, hey, a kid from San G wants to open a smoke spot right there.
Yeah.
Old school.
Just don't tell him I went to Sierra either, but let him know I went to San G.
So if you want to feed those kids good, and maybe you guys are having some cannabis on your Friday night with your family, go to Golden Pizza and Wings.
yeah.
Of course, order
I only
Uber,
enjoy cannabis on days that end with a Y.
over
Yeah.
Uber
That's
Eats
it.
and get it all over there. And say hello to Ted for us. It's some great pizza, and they got a good salad over there, $10.95.
They do.
and they
bad.
got salad without chicken, so you got for vegetarians.
I've
calling the
eaten some
vegans out,
salads
huh?
from there.
Yep.
And when I wasn't vegan, I did go to Golden Pizza a lot. And my kids preferred their pizza over any other similar priced pizzas in the area. They really liked Golden. Yeah.
So that you heard it. Go get a pizza, team.
Go get some.
I also have to mention PAL Charter Academy over in Muscoy. Now they have two campuses, a high school and a middle school. They're our new sponsor, and we had an incredible time over there in Muscoy this weekend. They had an Easter event through their IE live,
Nice.
like they have a live market. There it is.
Oh,
And
okay.
they had KGGI 99.1 over there.
They bring the boombox? Did they bring the boombox?
Yes, they did. And
I
there was
love that.
a huge Easter egg hunt, but like several of them. So the kids, like they did them in age groups and
Nice.
put them all over their nice football field, brand new. It looks good.
That's
it looks
cool.
good.
That's nice.
Muscoy, you say, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
They have a Sam Manuel put in all their exercise equipment.
Nice.
They have a automotive department. They have a.
I hope the San Manuelians are using them too. so-
Yeah, this is
Stay fit.
yeah, this is going to be this is going to be a definite positive sponsorship for our show, right?
Wonderful.
And we also get to do community events with the kids and stuff like that. I seen most of the community members that can get involved with our youth there, so that makes me feel
Good.
comfortable there, right?
Yes,
Because sometimes you'll get involved in things and you'll see people and like all the vendors are from Riverside or like that's not our community.
Yeah.
That's people that are just trying to make money, right? So I don't fault that. You can mix those people in, but I'd rather have homegrown people from the area, and then
Totally.
you buy local stuff, right?
Which is really nice to hear, just in the whole sentence that you said, again, growing up here from the 90s, is to hear Muscoy is doing good things. Like that just to me is a powerful statement. And I'm
incredible
so grateful
school
to
there.
hear that.
Yeah.
Yes, dude, that is really
Wonderful.
a blessing to hear that neighborhood
And
is
it's been there about
making
20,
some great
about
noise.
20 years, I think. And the coolest thing on the campus is actually a hybrid. Oh, it's not a hybrid. It's a grafted grapefruit and lemon tree.
It's so cool.
Yeah, a
Dude, I just
centerpiece.
blew my mom away. You know my mom.
Yeah,
So yesterday on Sunday we had lunch with them because my nephew got baptized.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Raymond. Good job. And I told her about a grafted fruit tree because she just moved to the Beaumont area, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna get a bunch of fruit trees." So she's telling us all these trees. I was like, "Why don't you just get like 3 trees and you get a pear, an apricot, an apple?" And she looked at me like I was talking to her in Japanese. She did not know anything about grafted
These things
trees and
exist.
fruit trees, and so yeah, it's great to know that they're doing the grafting, they're showing these stuffs because
And
it's
they
very important.
For me, it's the interesting thing was that it actually survived both grafts.
Very cool.
Yeah, because oftentimes people don't take care of their grafted trees.
No.
And one grows bigger than the other, or actually the rootstock it takes
Dies,
over the whole
yeah.
thing, and you end up with inferior fruit,
Yep.
or not the 4 different varieties you wanted. Now
Yep.
I have actually personally grafted avocados before and had
Nice.
them set.
That's cool.
But according to my grandpa, when he told me this, he said, "A bird's going to land on it and break it off." I'm like, "No, it's not, Grandpa. No, it's not."
Sure
Damn,
did.
a dang bird landed on it and broke it off.
Yep, they
So,
know
You're like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
the heck?
so be careful with those grafts. Make sure you protect them good.
Yeah.
I'd also like to thank Pal Charter Academy for throwing that event for the youth. I mean, to see all those kids like grabbing those eggs and everything.
That's
I
cool.
mean, I have fun with that.
Fun.
Yeah, and to have a place where they can go that's not in our school district system, that's different.
Just
That's
that.
important, yeah.
A place to go.
Yeah, for the kids that sometimes need a little bit more extra help.
Yep.
They even have a side room where the kids have massage chairs that they can just relax.
Dope.
Put their
How
feet
nice.
up and just,
That's very cool.
and just get over whatever is going on, and then maybe talk to a counselor and see what's actually causing them to act out in school and things like
Wonderful.
And that's what's very much needed is the conversation.
because our youth are our future, and we want to create good,
Yep.
so they'll create good later.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we so thank you, Pal Charter Academy, for that. We appreciate you very much. And
That's cool.
This will be the last time for the I Love San Bernardino Standout of the Week with Cindy Ta and the and Shabu Shabu Moija Shabu Shabu and BBQ Korean barbecue.
Oh, wow.
No, Korean fried chicken. I'm sorry. I always say barbecue. It's BBQ Korean fried chicken. And they have
Koreans love their
all the
fried chicken.
different flavors,
Wow.
like, wings, and it's just incredible. And then the mochi nut over there on Redlands Boulevard in Anderson, incredible. So Cindy brought these foodie spots to San Bernardino and Loma Linda. And,
That's cool.
Nice.
yeah, try to bring something new and everything. And
Keep-
they sponsored our Standout of the Week for 3 months, and
That's
we really
cool,
appreciate them doing
Very
that.
cool.
And we will still keep going there for sure. They might continue to do it. I'm not sure yet. They haven't hit me up yet, but let's hope so.
Let's hope
They can also
so.
sponsor by sending a plate for you. You know.
And then we have other sponsorship
And the audio guy, too. You should use it.
opportunities. You can do our non-for-profit of the week if you want, or our business or restaurant of the week. So we got a couple, and that's just $25 a show. And you could do it for a few months, you could do it for a year, or you could do it for one show and focus on a restaurant that you love.
That's cool.
Wonderful.
Right. So you got a spot that you want to showcase. Hit me up, team. We can
Nice.
do this. I can't do this without your help. I need the sponsors to pay my general manager, Mark Westwood. So if you want to help, come on down, team. I'd really, really appreciate it. And our standout of the week today is Mr. Eugene Weems. Now, if you've not met Eugene Weems, he is a heavyweight champion.
Nice.
Yeah, and basically could kick butt and take names, but
Nice.
but he's like a big teddy bear.
Nice.
Okay.
Like like you can tell him I said this. He's a big teddy bear, and he loves to help the kids. So he had all these Easter baskets and this spinning wheel, and he was giving out free prizes. And almost every single time I go to an event, he's there with a table set up.
That's
Right.
great.
Wonderful.
And
Way to
he's
do
not
it.
just focusing on San Bernardino, he's focusing on the whole area and also in Los Angeles with the
Nice.
fires. Also, he did an event out in Las Vegas. So he's
Beautiful.
really getting out there and trying to help the kids. And you know what? Anyone who's willing to do that and actually go, and he deserves to be a standout of the week.
Totally.
And every one of you, if you know somebody that does this type of stuff, hit me up. I love new standouts of the week, and we'll showcase them, man, because that's the kind of stuff I love to hear about. Yanni loves it. I love it. You know,
community needs it.
Yeah, our future.
Totally.
All right. Before I get into what we're going on, I'll let you know a little bit about what I'm doing in my life. I'm doing our gardens, right? So I had this butterfly garden that a lantana, a bird poop lantana, right? You
Nice.
guys know what a bird poop lantana is?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Invasive
So
tree.
they just come from anywhere, but sometimes they're pretty, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, so I planted a milkweed for the butterflies, a few of them in the garden, and they had like overgrown. So I was like, oh, I wasn't really living at my mom's too much, so I let the lantana grow on its own, and it took over half of the garden. And so when I chopped it off at the root and it dried out, it became a bunch of thorns.
Yep.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, never again. I am
A
not
long-lost
yeah,
cousin of goat heads. Yeah, there you go.
Lantana is gone. So, but now I have basil in there,
There you
some
go.
zucchini, tomatoes, pepper, and you team need to start your garden. It
Yes.
is time.
It is time.
I already have.
So tell us what you guys got going on right now.
I have.
She's the little fairy in the garden.
Yeah.
I just build the dirt. She wets it with the plants, so it's good stuff.
I have some kale, some tomatoes, a couple varieties of tomatoes, cucumbers for pickling, sweet potatoes, purple potatoes, What else do I have?
Did you get a lot of purple? I saw you got one
got a
harvest.
bunch.
Yeah, you got one
I've
harvest.
actually, they are
bunch.
doing quite well every year. What
so
I'm
you
able
just
to
left
do
a-
is just seed a couple
Yeah.
of the ones from the last
Yeah,
one, and it
okay.
just keeps going, and they're really good.
We learned a lot last
Yeah.
year. She gets pretty, she gets a little wild with doing things, and so she got a little wild, like, oh, let's learn this, and then we were like, oh my god, you don't need a lot. So she
Sweet
had
potatoes turn into like
she could have probably planted wild sweet potatoes all over the high desert, and
Yeah.
nobody would have ever known, and we could have been harvesting all over the
they
place.
turn
I
into
think we'll do that
ivy
this year.
almost.
Yeah,
and
they
they
get-
take over, and
they
if they're
get
happy,
huge.
they just grow all over everything.
Did you
Pirate
get a lot of?
potatoes.
Did you get a lot of baby sweet potatoes?
Oh my God, yes.
yeah,
And
for
got
some
good
reason
ones.
we didn't.
They were
got
like
good ones. Big
the
ones.
foliage was like trying to go over all his cactus. Like it was just trying to
Yeah,
grow
it takes
everywhere.
over.
Great ground cover. Great
Yeah.
ground cover.
But I was very happy to get those expensive sweet potatoes, the purple ones that you can't get anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
except for paying what we were paying. I forgot at the farmer's market. It was like ridiculous price. So I was
That's
like,
quite a bit.
I'll buy one of those, and then I cut it into slits, and I made it into
A
made
lot
my
of them,
own.
Yeah, that's
They're
what we
gonna
did. So
find
you can do that, team. You could take a sweet potato from the store and just cut. Make sure you have an eye. There's eyes on it at a
Yes.
place. You could root it in water if you wanted to, or just stick it right in the dirt and keep it wet.
She's a sweet potato the size of your fist will give you, I'm not even lying, almost 1,000 slips, a bunch of little plants. That's the plants. When they grow off, they call them slips. And you're able to cut them off, and each one is a plant. You'll get just the size of your fist, a sweet potato. You have enough to plant
They'll
at
just
least
grow
an
right
acre.
off of it if you
I had
leave
like
it. Yeah.
I had
Oh, yeah.
one
Just put that
piece. It
there.
was like 10 plants. I was overwhelmed. I was like, who needs sweet potatoes at this point?
Well,
you know.
we got those purple ones at the Loma Linda Farmers Market, right? So we cut them all up, and then like we read later, oh, you're supposed to dry them out and everything, but it didn't matter.
It
No, they'll
doesn't
grow.
Yeah, you
matter.
can put those in the ground, they grow.
They want to grow.
Well, what I tell people, like where we're at, it's a little less wet, so I put them in half in soil, the pieces just half in soil, and then not under the soil like a potato, because sweet potatoes actually will just rot if you put them fully under soil, and then just start sprouting a bunch of slips, and then shoot, I think we had like 13, 14 plants. I had to like go down though. It was overtaking the entire yard.
Yes, they get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I got some hammy melons too from last year that did the same thing on the fence. So I've been utilizing the fences more.
There you go.
Because it's not getting used, right?
Might as well.
Yeah.
And today was the first day I watered all of my cactus. So all
Oh,
all the trichosariuses and all those plants just barely got their first watering of the season today. So it's here we go.
Besides
6 months.
just rain.
Yes.
Yeah, they get the rain. They're all my stuff is hard grown and it's out in the environment. So when the winter comes, I stop watering things around October, and then if it gets rain and stuff, it's fine. But I don't intentionally water them with city water, tap water. Or I don't give them
Because
teas or anything.
you want root rot or anything. like
Oh yeah, because you need to dehydrate the cactuses. If you're into I'm into extremely decorative cactuses with amazing flowers, like some of the most beautiful flowers you'll ever see on a cactus. And the flower only lasts for 24 hours, so like I have to spend 364 days to enjoy one day of their effort. So it's a beautiful thing to work on. So I had to learn a lot. I work with breeders all around the world for cactus breeders. There's amazing, massive cactus breeding world in Germany, which is crazy because it's not a desert, and they're all in greenhouses.
Really?
And when they send me plants, they're these tiny little plants from their greenhouses, and so here I have to really be careful with them so they can take our weather and stuff. But it's been really nice to grow some of these and to learn how to make sure that they're still going. I have one plant, it's called super apricot, and this flower is one of the most beautiful flowers in Trichocereus family, and to keep that plant alive in the high
I can
desert is a
actually
trick.
see that one in my head.
Yeah, it looks like a saw blade. It's
Yeah.
so cool looking.
Super pretty.
And that was just to learn how to make sure that dehydrating them is where they don't die in case I get snow. I'm in Victorville, so we get snow. We'll get times where it gets down to 17 degrees for a couple of hours and stuff. And so I've been there for almost 9 years now, and so learning all of the way to grow in that environment has definitely been different from growing when I lived by the Palm Springs area. So it's definitely different.
Do the vegetables grow well with the cactuses there? Or?
Very good. Actually, the cactuses grow better because I water them when I remember. Amethyst is out there every day watering the plants, and
So they'll get a
they
sprinkle
they get
here
a
and there
splash,
from me, yeah.
She'll water one here and there, so they get a little bit of extra love. But I do a thing called neglect tech, and that's they got to be. You build a real strong soil, and then you make sure that the soil can hold enough water, and then it leaves less maintenance for you to be. I'm out there because I want to be.
It's hard to kill those cactuses.
They don't want to die.
I gotta.
There are some that do, though.
I have a pretty good success rate of whacking plants, unfortunately.
Every winter he leaves them out there. He's like, if they die, they die. I didn't grow them to baby them. I mean, there was a time where he would bring them in, but now it's like, and every so often we lose one, but I will say they're sturdy plants, very sturdy.
And then there's some that she takes care of. I walk by and I'm like, man, you're supposed to die. And she's, nah, keep watering that thing. Stop watering that thing.
It's all in the corner, and I'm like, it needs water. I didn't know he was leaving it to out to pasture.
So today was the first day they got watered, and over the summer, once it gets to like over 104 degrees, the water uptake takes a little bit more. We have a watering system and stuff for the vegetable garden and stuff, but the cactus garden I have to be out there and pay attention at those times. So it's right now it's a good time. The garden was nice. She's getting seeds going, and we have a shade cloth that covers about 60% of our yards. So it helps a lot with us growing in our region because we have a pretty intense sun being in the high desert. It's a little bit different. So we're able to grow quite a bit of stuff till at least November.
If they could grow in the high desert, team, San Bernardino is incredible for it.
Well, that's what I've been publishing the High Times and Cannabis Publishing magazine since 2008, and that's kind of what I was known for because I lived in the Hemet area and I was growing and breeding cannabis plants out there, and everybody was like, "Well, you're in the desert," and I was like, "Yeah," and I'm breeding and I'm making these seeds. And Ed Rosenthal, who wrote all these books, he was like, "Hey, give me a bag of seeds and I'm going to send them to my friends. We're on the 33rd parallel of the earth." And he sent these seeds all across the world. And people were like, "Man, these seeds grow amazing. We can't kill these plants. They just do really good." And I told them all the seeds were grown in 110 degrees. Like, they're going to survive. If they're not anywhere in the desert, they're really happy. And it's like a pina colada.
They're extremely happy.
They're enjoing a pina colada life. So give it to them.
The desert environment can actually be incredible because you can have multiple harvests, in a row.
Yep.
Out there in India, I mean, they just grow crop after crop after crop after crop.
I was about to say,
crop.
my tomatoes were, because the heat was so late in our season, like I didn't have to pull my tomato plants like I usually do. They didn't freeze right away. It didn't get cold
I don't
enough.
pull my tomato plants a second year, but like sometimes if you just plant a new one, they grow so much better, but you kind of become attached to that old plant, you're like, oh man.
But our plants, it's super hard to keep them alive if it does snow. Like, that's the one thing that we really have a hard.
Love it.
Tomatoes do not like
never
to
get
freeze.
attached to annuals. Never get attached to annuals.
Yeah, I know.
Only perennials.
Yeah. But no. So with tomatoes, you have the indeterminate and you have the determinate, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So indeterminate, you can literally just keep growing them for however long you can keep it alive.
They'll take your whole life over,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
But
will.
yes.
With a bunch of little baby cherries, hopefully.
Oh, I have probably, from my cherry tomato plant, probably like 1,000 seedlings that are just sprouting all over the yard already. I've already seen them. I'm like, great.
That's another thing, team. Like, take a tomato from the store. You can put those seeds in the ground and get tomatoes.
What's even better is just go to Lowe's, Home Depot, and in their seed compartments, you can buy organic seeds. You can buy stuff that's not treated with anything that they put in Stater Brothers shelves, Walmart shelves, all that stuff to keep it fresh on the shelf. Go and buy a pack of seeds. They even sell them at Walmart. They even sell them at
it could be a farmer's
CVS.
market.
Go to
too,
get a
as well.
farmer's market. Try to find a healthier seed. And, if you're going to plant a garden, pay attention to your seed. And that's a very important source. And you grow organic food. It'd be the best thing for your whole entire neighborhood, body, environment, and the birds.
You could do it in 5-gallon buckets.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Topsy-turvies.
I grow a fig in a 30-gallon bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Nice.
It grows fruit every single year. Mm-hmm. Probably around 16 to 20.
Not bad.
Yep.
But these are big green figs and they're good, right?
I love figs. They're my favorite.
So there's no excuse for you not to have something, even if you had a tiny little spot in front of your front door and you got some light, right?
Yep.
So,
Grow food, not lawns.
yeah.
I tell people all the time, just even if you just have a small herb garden, what that will do for your food and the flavor in your food, is soup. It's just takes things up just that much more. And I grow as many herbs as I possibly can in my backyard just because I like to have them. And then they're, medicinal uses for all of them as well. So
So I know I spent a lot of time on this team, but it is the time to get this going.
Oh dang, where are we
Yeah,
going?
yeah,
Where are we going?
yeah. I love fresh grown basil and tomatoes and all that stuff. So
Sure do.
Get it started, team. If you can't afford it, you can plant garlic, break garlic apart. You know, you can
Yes,
do a
you
few
can.
Super easy.
things. Yeah.
Most of the food from the produce department you can replant.
So look at it that way. Now, before we get into the music, because I can't wait, but you always cut something new. Last time it was frogs.
Oh, I
right?
still got the frogs.
Yeah, and snakes,
Still
right?
got the snakes.
And we studied those, but now you got the representations here. So
Oh yeah.
So tell us what you're getting into now with the 3D printing.
So for the last 7 years, I've been really following the 3D printing industry. I've been to RC cars, remote control cars, big time. I was into them hardcore. I still like them, but not as much as they used to take my time. So in that, one of the big things was the 3D printing of a lot of the stuff was to create a lot of stuff for the RC car world. We created that out of the 3D printing style of that genre, but most of the 3D printing world was people trying to design stuff. They was really trying to be pushed for prototyping things and for engineering and stuff like that. But those printers were extremely expensive, and it took a lot of understanding mechanically and electronically on how to utilize them. So I was not intrigued with them for anything. I didn't want to buy one.
They were hard to use.
They looked daunting,
and
like,
the product that came off of them looked really horrible. It was like stacked toothpicks. It didn't look cool. And so over the last year, I just jumped back into it, see what was going on in the industry, and this amazing company has came out with these Cadillac Lamborghini hybrid 3D printers. They're called Bamboo Labs, and it's literally pull it out of the box, push print, and you can have yourself a really cool. This is an American alligator that I created. It was not designed by me. It's designed by a company named Racky Box, and this guy really is trying to get into the taxonomy of it. It's an articulated alligator, and the reason why you'll see the articulated dragons and the lizards and all that stuff is because Mattel and all those companies, they can't injection mold the way these things articulate. And so 3D printers, they print them in the way that you can actually get them to articulate and move. And then the different types of plastics, you can get a higher quality, a lower quality. And so we were just mostly, 3 years ago, out in the desert with my RC car, and there's a group of us out there racing, and this guy comes out and he was like, "Oh, I just 3D printed the body," and he's crawling over these rocks, and it's about 96 degrees, and the body started to warp. It didn't melt, it wasn't dripping or anything, but it started to warp and just totally deform itself in the sun. And I was like, man, I'm still not buying. And it took him 27 hours to print that. Oh. I was like, man, a day and a half damn near, and it went out
print
within
the whole thing again.
30 minutes on the rocks, and it burned. It warped. It's unusable now.
Especially in the hot.
And I was not filling 3D printers at all. People made me things, and it just didn't have the quality
that you're seeing now here.
So these printers came out, and I started following the industry, saw some things. I went into a couple of the spaces that these things were they're creating stuff, and I was on YouTube, and I went down the rabbit hole of it, and that printer, this video came up. I'm a mechanic by trade. That's my background, is being a mechanic, auto mechanic. And so this guy was making a crescent wrench. He was 3D printing out of carbon fiber and PLA plastic, which is it's a basic plastic that we use. It's mostly corn syrup. And he made a crescent wrench out of this plastic carbon fiber hybrid, and he was able to take off a 100-pound torque down nut off of a screw. And so that, to me, I was like, wow. And he looked at the camera and he said, hey, we're not going to build the Empire State Building with this, but we can at least stop the leak. And that made a lot of sense to me as being a mechanic of we have Craftsman tools, we have Snap-on tools, we have these extraordinary tool companies out here that do that stuff. But in our own personal worlds, there's some tools that aren't going to ever be created because of my certain scenarios. So getting into design work and designing these tools and understanding engineering and function, I'm a super nerd in that little world. So to me, it just kind of sparked this massive fire inside of me. These printers today were making sense of it. I can actually use toxic materials that are extremely toxic, and they have to be in an enclosed system while these materials are being superheated and laid down to create these products. Mm-hmm. They can go under the hood of your car. They can go on the roof of your house. They can be on your front yard, your backyard. You can use them in your garden. You can use them for a lot of normal everyday things. And, you know, people are going to Harbor Freight and they're buying cheap tools and they're buying these things. Definitely not to build a house, but at least fix a wall. So I kind of considered that as the same situation with the 3D printer. I've created so much stuff in our house, like from hat racks to sponge holders to spoon holders in the kitchen for her, stuff in our bathroom like drain caps, plugs. Of course, I can go to the store and get one, but it's really fun to sit there and to turn
Make
off
your own. Yeah.
turn off the
And
social
not
media,
have to pay the store.
turn off social media, turn off, you know, YouTube stuff, turn on my mind and turn on this program, this CAD program, and start designing something. That's if I want to design something. If I don't, there's this whole world. You go into this world, so many people are designing stuff. Like, I just gave you this little, you put your phone on this thing and it's got this little, it amplifies your phone speaker.
Phonograph.
Yeah, while you're in the shower, you can amplify your phone. It's, dude, they sell it at the 99-cent store for $3, you know, like, yeah. But I just want to make one cool. I had some orange and I had some black and I had this cool red that looks like marble. And I want to make a cool one for Robert. So I was like, hey, dude, when you're in the shower, put this on. It's not crazy. Cool little gifts and things like that. But at the same time, if I nail something really good, you know, I actually do know a story of a 14-year-old kid that got a 3D printer. And this toy or thing that Khan's mom constantly bought him kept failing. And so he took the fail point and he redesigned this thing, sent in the CAD program to the company. I'm sure he had a lawyer because he had some paperwork with him. The company got back and they actually engineered to make their product better by him 3D printing this piece. Back in the day, the prototyping of that would have took months, hundreds and thousands of dollars, and it took years. The kid did it just over a couple of days, sent it in. The lawyer asked him, do you want to get royalties for the next 10 years or do you want a $150,000 payout? And the kid said, I don't know, I'm 14. He goes, well, you know, you're 14. Take the buyout. The company might not be here in 10 years. You can take 150 grand right now. You just design that. Design something else now. And this kid now has a reputable name in this industry as being an engineer just because he has a 3D printer and filled the fail point of something he really enjoyed a lot. So to me, that inspired me a lot of things around my house, stuff that I'm into. I'm a super nerd when it comes to stuff like this. I don't expect this to be in everybody's world, but it is nice to create you know, I'm into reptiles and stuff.
Dude, I guarantee this will be in everybody's house eventually. This is going to be a normal thing.
So the company,
That's what they're hoping.
Yeah.
So the company Bamboo Labs, they're not calling it a printer. They're actually calling it a home appliance. And they
Yeah.
just released their new printer, flagship printer, which is amazing.
I'm sure that even food, you know, like wouldn't that be so cool?
Food is already being
I'm not
3D
going to
printed.
3D print my food, but yes.
Food is being 3D printed in
It is.
Asia right now. It is.
It
And so
is.
they are building homes with 3D printers. There's a company in Utah that just got signed on this contract to build this new stadium that they're building in Utah.
Human organs.
Oh, yeah, they could print those. And so this whole construction company is building this entire stadium with all 3D printed concrete. I was talking to a gentleman last month about the fires in Palisades and all that stuff, and there's already a company in the University of Massachusetts that builds homes, and all they'd have to do is get those printers to the area and build a jail, a courthouse, and a community center, and they can have their community starting to thrive back again. It doesn't take 20 years. It doesn't take millions of dollars. In Southern California, wood is not sustainable, but concrete is, and so is technology, and so is engineers. And so put them to work. Get them to work. Get your community back on. Quit dragging your feet like it's 1926. We are in the year of 2025, and we have printers that can actually...
Let's move forward, yeah.
Yes, totally. And that kind of like just segued into my internal spirit of like, dude, this is the future of things. They're printing food, they're printing organs, they're printing buildings and houses, they're printing everything. Yep. You know, the injection mold industry is on its last leg. It is the Green Mile. Mass toys and mass production of warehouse holding of stuff is falling apart today. There's no reason that you need to walk into a Costco and have billions and billions of products in a store.
When you can make your own.
You can grow your own food. You can print your own whatever. You know, you can sew your own clothes.
We even saw, you know, people are taking this and innovating things that, like, of course, I don't think I would use, but there was a gentleman who made a shirt. He 3D printed a shirt. I wouldn't use it. I mean,
I can just imagine that grabbing my hand.
like, it'd be super. Yeah, it would just be super uncomfortable.
But it's
for
cool because
me,
it's all
it's
innovation.
almost like armor, almost.
But like that's what I was
Literally
saying.
like
Like they did
dragon
tons of costumes, masks,
Yeah, if it was a
movie
costume,
props.
yeah.
You know, if your kid wants something from a movie, you don't have to go buy it at the store. You can print it now.
And today, like most of the world today, is it's about engineering and prototypes of stuff, and it's just a prototype industry. If you're into any kind of customization industry, you should have a 3D printer.
Definitely.
And you should take the time and get a quality one, because you're gonna have a horrible experience if you don't buy a quality one with good support and leading the headway of the industry. And they're not that expensive to even be in that space.
Well, thank you for sharing. I wanted to share that with
Thank you.
with our viewers and listeners, man, because it's a totally new like genre that's really starting to take hold, and I don't think it's going anywhere. And I really do believe there'll be a day where there'll be probably multiple types of printers in your home.
Different deposits.
Oh, I
totally.
need soap. I need, well,
Yep.
whatever,
Yep.
and you just put the raw materials in there, and it gets you what you want.
So we work with the Colombian shaman from Colombia, right? He's like, it's like 12 generations of being indigenous from the deep jungles of Colombia. And he lives in Florida now, and he got a 3D printer, and he's had one for about a year. And he asked me for the one I had. I told him the one I had. He went and got it. And he was like, man, this is a Lamborghini. These things work so good. This other 3D printer I've had has just been crap, and it hasn't been giving me a good experience. And he goes, if I was able to take this back to the jungle, they would call this thing God.
Like magic.
You would open the door, and there's a thing. They would be like, this
that'd
thing
be
is
so
God.
cool.
And it's
Kinda.
really cool. To me, it is, dude. And I pull out flutes and
Engineering is a
instruments.
lot like magic.
Dude, I make instruments. We make toys. We make things around the house. And to me, I feel like I have severed myself from a lot of the world.
Play the didgeridoo before we get into the hand pan. So we're going to move into what they also do as sound baths and stuff. But he makes these didgeridoos here with the 3D printer.
This is a 3D printed didgeridoo. And this is a 3D printed drone flute, Native American drone flute. She'll probably walk it up to the camera close because she likes doing that. While she's showing you that, I'm going to play the didgeridoo because I have a traditional didgeridoo right here, which is...
Let's didgeridoo this.
Yeah, let's didgeridoo this.
Let's didgeridoo it.
So what she's showing you right there is a Native American flute. It's in the key of D5, and it's beautiful. This is a nano didge, what they call it. It's cool. I get to print them in cool colors. This is a handheld didgeridoo. This little thing does what this thing does.
So show us a sound comparison with that one. That's one. It's long. You're actually better with that one. You practiced a lot with that one.
I've been playing these for a lot of years.
Yes, but if you got, you like it and you got this and you're like, man, I really like this, you might want to buy the more expensive one, right?
For learning, like I sell these for $20 to people. That didgeridoo right there's $100. I use that when I travel and do shows near the beach and stuff. Traditional didgeridoo from the Aboriginal people start about $500 and up. Wooden agave didgeridoo made here in Southern California start at $600.
How come those are more expensive?
It's because they take a lot of work to
they're
make.
bigger?
They're lightweight. You can pretty much carry them with your pinky, and they sound so good once they're made properly, and they last forever. And so an
the craft
agave
you're paying
didgeridoo
for.
is really what it is.
I've seen those before, and they do sound beautiful.
But then you see that, like I'm holding a 5-foot stick and
You
I'm
can't
trying to
take
breathe
that
through it.
everywhere
And if
with
you're
you.
gonna learn, it's really hard. So if you want to learn, you feel like this works. Didgeridoo is amazing for sleep apnea. It helps the muscle in your throat, stops you from snoring, and builds a stronger muscle so you can have less sleep apnea issues. And so just learning the didgeridoo and how to play it will actually help your muscles in your throat. So it's not just so much about doing sound healing or playing the didgeridoo. It's mostly about a technique as a routine workout for your throat muscles. So when I first started playing, I actually tore a muscle in my throat, and I didn't understand the feeling. I didn't know if it wasn't a sore throat. It was kind of odd. And I found out that I actually tore a muscle straining myself trying to learn how to play the didgeridoo. I was trying to play them on the big ones, so I started learning on smaller ones, and it got easier. So for $20, you can see if you feel connected to these instruments. And that's what I'm trying to do with people. Instead of paying $600 and it's sitting in the corner of your house and you have a 5-foot stick that's heavy to pick up, hard to understand how to play, you can have one in your hand, $20 driving on the freeway.
So the one question I do have is it Is there 3D printers big enough that could print that?
I could print that. Yeah, I could print that in pieces.
Oh, in pieces. Oh, okay.
There
so you would
are ones that are
separate it up.
big enough to print that as well, but the
Yeah,
average
yeah.
person wouldn't have
Yeah,
that
you
in their
wouldn't need
home.
that much. But
Yeah.
like if you were like a business or something.
Yeah. No, and then again, if you got one of these from me and you're playing it for a couple of months and you're like, wow, I really got the hang of it. I really like this. I want a real one. I'll introduce you to my friend Jeff
We
Ross
have-
that
yeah.
lives in Tustin and he makes agave didgeridoos. And he's one of the most amazing didgeridoo makers in America. And so I can get you a traditional didgeridoo made locally.
Okay.
So it's really, I'm not trying to take away from that industry. Same with the flutes. Like this drone flute would be $300 to $400 made out of wood traditionally, and we offer them really affordable for people. Around $30, we're able to offer some of these instruments to people so they get to experience them. And we were talking earlier, and we're like, oh, for the kids, but dude, I'm not a kid, and she's not a kid, and she really enjoys this flute. And we've been to many places, and for $300 flutes, her hands didn't fit with them well. And I could imagine if I had ordered it online, got it home,
then, yeah,
and
didn't
it
even
didn't
use it,
connect
yeah.
with it at
Majority
all.
of these good flutes they're hand carved. The wooden flutes are hand carved. You don't know if it's going to be a fit for you until you put your hands on it. And if you order it online, I know from experience that there's a couple that I play, but I have a very hard time playing them because my fingers don't go over the holes.
What
and
do you
such.
have to
Make
play
sure
for
to
us right now?
So this is a D5.
Check the things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only took 6 hours to print.
And you've been practicing, huh? Good job.
Definitely.
I've been playing
love
flute
it,
for a couple of
yes.
years now.
Yeah.
Couple.
And so then you brought me here because of this thing, right? Because the hand pan.
Well,
You called. You said, "Bring the hand pan."
I really wanted to hear all about that 3D printing.
I know you did. I know you did.
But this is awesome, and it always sounds incredible.
Yes, it does. So we play sound healing. We're in Victorville. Amethyst and I are known as High Desert Healing 760 because we're in the high desert in Victorville area.
We have a show this Saturday.
Yeah, we
too.
actually have a show this Saturday in
7 p.m.
Victorville. We do sound healing and sound meditation. She's a certified meditation trainer and facilitator. Me, I've been a musician my whole life. I've been a percussionist, playing the drums and all that stuff since the early 90s. Professional all around the world with big musicians. So we put all of our worlds together and we provide sound healing. We've played for therapists, for IEHP. We work with traditional shamans and we play in ceremonial spaces like ayahuasca, peyote, mushroom ceremonies, and indigenous medicine practices. We support their environment with our sound. So we give people our vibrations. Amethyst assist and I assist Amethyst, and it's really nice. She does singing and plays guitar, ukulele, singing bowls and harps and gongs. And I play didgeridoo, hand pans, drums, gongs. That's pretty much it. She does a lot more things than I do. So this is called a hand pan. This is made by a local maker in Los Angeles. This is Acolyte Instruments, or Nirvana hand pan. I also work with another gentleman named Hamsa Hand Pans. He's out of Los Angeles also. He just had a hand pan festival in Joshua Tree this weekend. That's where I was this weekend.
Pantasia.
Pantasia,
If you haven't heard
really
of it,
epic
take
event.
a look. Pretty epic.
I really hope I get to play there one year.
Yes.
Besides after hours around the bonfire. Smoking weed, but that was a good time. This is in the key of F sharp, and it's called the F low pygmy. It's good. And the pygmy scale is kind of it comes from the African sound. So it doesn't sound like Africa at all to me.
Man, that just... It's still vibrating in there a little bit.
Should be.
It'll take you away.
So, how does that make noise?
So it's
Like it's like a round metal, like
block.
it looks like a UFO kind of.
It definitely
like
does
a
look
barbecuer.
Like a UFO.
So these are hand hammered. It's all hand hammered, handmade. They press the dipples in. These are insets. So the frequency tone is in these flat parts, and the harmonics are in that. So it's kind of like a steel drum. The middle is they call it the ding, and this is the root note of the entire pan. It's a pentatonic scale. So this is in the key of C, and so all the notes around it accompany the root note. And so this is in the key of C, and the scale is called Aegean, like the Aegean Sea. And as you heard, this one is in the key of F sharp, and it's a pygmy scale, it's the African scale. And this is a completely different sound and a whole different vibe.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like a longer vibration. I don't know, like longer. Or...
There's a long sustain in them for sure.
Yeah.
And that's to help with the frequencies. As we know, I've said here before that we have studies that show that just being in 20 minutes of sound vibration can help rehydrate blood cells, alleviate sticky cells and blood in your body, get rid of inflammation, irritation, slow down Alzheimer's and dementia, and get you to sleep, rest better at night and to calm your nervous system. Mm-hmm. Just 20 minutes of a sound meditation experience.
So how many of these do you need to create your sound? Like, can you do a whole show with just one?
You could.
I can, and I do, and I have, but I'm blessed, and I have beautiful Amethyst with me, and so she assists me with other sounds, and over the last few years, we've been able to really hone our craft and our sound down to a very tight-knit, strong experience that we're able to offer to people, and we give them anywhere from about an hour to an hour and a half of solid sound vibrational experience. And she starts it off by setting you off in a guided meditation, and then from there we hit a gong and you're on your way, and we just flow, and it's about an hour roughly, and we have we flow through a couple of different styles of sounds, and we've had people that have got up and said that they dance with their native ancestors, and they're with their ancestors dancing around a fire, people swimming in the waters.
They were put into a meditative state because of the sound.
Just open their DNA up and go deep inside, riding pirate ships, flying in stars, on spaceships.
How much does an instrument like this cost? Is there a price range? Like if someone wanted to get one for their kid, or?
Yeah, so
can't 3D print these yet.
No,
No.
we can't. Nah.
Because this is unique, actually.
He'd have a
There's
million
not
if he
another one like
could.
this in the world because he has to be hand.
Yeah, they have to be
Handmade.
handmade. Yeah, they take a couple of months to make, and usually to get a quality one, I wouldn't spend no less than $1,200.
Okay.
But you can get one for $400 or $500. You can get like a $3,000 hand pan that's been used for probably like $1,500. That's a great deal. But you
hand
want to find somebody that you can tune your hand pan locally, and most hand pan makers won't tune anything that's not theirs. So it's not like a guitar. You can drop it off a Guitar Center and they can tune it for you, restring it, fix it. These hand pans aren't like that. So they're a lot more of a really small niche group of musicians and creators of them. So that's why I always recommend people. There's two amazing builders here in Los Angeles, Hamsa Hand Pan and Acolyte Industries, and they're both in downtown LA, an hour from San Bernardino. If you do have the money, reach out to them. Tell them Eddie Funksta sent you, and all they do, I don't get nothing from them. I've already got all my hand pans. I don't need anything. I just like them to know that you have heard the quality of the pans, and that you would like to go talk to the people that, you drop it. You never want to drop these things at all. This $1,500 and up. You definitely want to be careful with it. We got 2 minutes, and so from there, if it does for some reason, the kid falls on it, you drop it, or a car accident or something like that, you're able to take it to Los Angeles and have them repair it. Most of the companies you'll see are on the East Coast or in Europe or Israel, Spain, and fortunately with all of our tariffs,
Iraq,
all of our tariffs are
Japan.
going to now raise all the pans. The price of the pans coming in. So just us getting taxed by coming in from overseas, we're looking at about $500 just in tariff taxes, getting a hand pan from overseas. So, dude, $500? No, put that $500 in your pocket. Take an hour and drive to LA. Go see my friend Jay, or go see my friend Steven. They'll crack a joke with you about all the stupid things I've done with them with hand pans over the last 5 years. I've been buying them from them, and they'll show you guys all the different experiences, scales, and teach you guys a couple things. So hand pans are beautiful. Didgeridoos, if you want any of those.
And how do we find out more about your guys' shows?
High Desert Healing 760
on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you both for showing up. Eddie Amethyst, I love you both very much. And this is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show, Missing It Beyond Your Lockhart, and we are out of here.